that look here?
Oh, that's okay.
All right. So maybe we can move the camera.
You want me to swing it a little bit?
I'll do it.
Okay. Yeah, I agree.
All right.
Yeah, get you in so we're balanced.
Yeah, we look pretty balanced. We got the dead center of the Starship Trooper trip. Okay, so probably nobody's listening right now.
How do you know if anybody's listening?
Well, there'll be a count of if anybody's in the chat, we'll see it. But I don't really know if it shows. It's the first time I go live, so we'll see participants.
Oh, you've never even done an experiment to?
No, not live because didn't know what to say. You know.
Talk with a cat. Hello, sweetheart.
So we're actually live, James. How you doing?
Fantastic. This is a trip. Okay, wait. Before
even though there's nobody listening right now, the replay on the thing will be there. So. All right, we'll do that again because I just found out. Look right there. That tells you who's watching, and that tells you who likes it. So there's nobody in the room yet.
Okay, but this is recording as well.
It's recording as well.
Okay,
yeah.
so there you go.
That's the whole fun.
Just to have an intro buffalo drum.
Intro, but well, you can do the intro again when somebody else shows up. Well, if somebody shows up.
If. There you go.
Record.
High hopes.
All right, so now we're going to let's do this and this like this. Okay, say something, Jim.
Something.
Okay, let's see.
Help me, Landrew.
All right, so that's good. Let's get rid of the monitor. That's better. Let's start recording the audio. And let's sit here and see how long it takes for somebody to show up.
It's kind of like fishing.
It's a lot like fishing.
I always love that sound. You know, when I used to go fishing as a kid in Dorval back in the early 70s and stuff, Lake St. Louis, the whole St. Lawrence, it seemed to be a lot more polluted than it is now. Like there were
actually, you're right about that because they did do a big job cleaning up and also
reducing
throwing stuff in.
Right.
And then the water just takes care of it by itself.
Like there was so much gross, slimy algae.
Oh, God.
There were no
Swim in
ducks. There were no ducks.
Did you swim in that?
No.
I used to polish off a few beers and jump in. I cut myself on my lower belly because I dove in and there was a piece of glass on the bottom of the water. It was like,
nasty.
It wasn't a great experience.
But all the fish that I'd pull out, they all had like tumors. Like especially the rock bass. They were the
Chernobyl kind of shit.
They were nasty. And there were eels. And it was just like, and eels are vicious. I don't know if you've ever caught an eel.
Thank God.
Getting it off the hook, man.
Catch a slimy eel.
Yeah, slimy and very bitey. And yeah.
Bitey?
So, bitey.
Is that a word?
If bigly is a word, bitey's a word.
Okay, bitey's a word. Bigly is a word?
According to Mr. Trump.
Bigly's a word.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
Bigly, bitey.
He received a bigly fine from the Department of Justice.
It's funny that you say that because there's, these, it's like a roll of tape and it's sticky on both sides and it's kind of padded.
Yeah.
So I call it the sticky stuff.
Okay.
And the girl at work laughs, sticky stuff. And then I wanted those clamps, that open up and hold papers.
Right.
So I call it the clampy thing.
Right.
And they think I'm silly.
Well.
Which is okay because I don't mind being silly. I'd rather be silly than stupid. But I mean, you could be stupidly silly and silly and stupid. But
a work culture always produces its own vernacular.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like an ecosystem.
Example. I was on a shop safety course once, and this teacher was talking about giving this course at Plant 1.
Okay.
And they were trying to identify things, and everyone said, "What's the noisiest thing that you use in the shop, or what's one of the most annoying noises. And they had a big 45-gallon drum that had been turned into a giant, what do you call those super industrial vacuums?
Oh yeah, the shop vac.
A shop vac, right?
Yeah.
But the container was
They
like
turned it into a shop. That's
a
pretty
big steel
cool.
drum. Yeah, they cut holes in it and put a couple of attachments on it.
Engine, motor, the sucking thing.
And it was painted bright red, and they called it the Monica. And but they hadn't explained this in the class. And there was one woman in the class, and she goes, "Oh yeah, I don't like the noise the Monica makes."
The Monica.
Yeah. And she actually thought that's what it was called, but it was just a nickname that somebody gave it. Pretty funny.
The loudest thing, or no, not the loudest. The loudest thing that worked for me was the wing station there.
The wing jig.
The wing jig.
Oh yeah.
Like, the most annoying sound is pre-flight with the APU. When they would turn the power on the aircraft,
Mm-hmm.
that was the most annoying sound. It was a whiny, high-pitched sound, which probably ruined my hearing.
Well, it's not.
I don't hear high pitches anymore.
It's not good. I've
That's why I
heard
have hearing aids.
between the sound of a jet engine and being a stagehand for Grand Funk. Like Grand Funk, didn't they hold for the longest time the record for the loudest concert?
Who?
Oh, I don't know. This was one that I saw, and it was in Tokyo, and they said they pegged it at 117 decibels.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's deafening.
And a jet engine is 130.
Yeah.
So sound crew for a rock band, or
one of my ex-girlfriends is 150.
Wow.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
I don't know.
Wow.
Run. No, I'm joking. I never had a loud girlfriend.
Okay.
But I thought it was funny.
Well, yeah.
Humor is not necessarily always true, because you have to exaggerate the reality of life to make things funny. Right?
I could go in so many directions with that right now, but
pick one.
No.
Pick a direction.
No. This is public. Oh, speaking of Bok Bok Bok, I watched Robot Chicken yesterday.
Oh, God, that's funny.
And they had this whole jogger in the park who's a chicken, who finds chicken feet sticking out from under the bushes and goes, "Bok, bok, bok, bok." It's a murder, and the cops come and they're like, "Bok, bok, 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 bok." And then there's like, the arrest and getting a warrant from the judge, and the judge is like, they're like, "Bok, bok, 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 bok," and he goes like, "Bok, bok." Oh, okay. And of course the editor, and they said at the end, directed by Bok Bok Bok. And it went on, and at first I was like, guys, this is really like, and about 2 minutes in, I am killing myself laughing because it's so
because it's so
stupid,
satirical,
and all they said the same thing over and over. It was funny, and there was like jury selection, there were courtroom outbursts, there was sentencing. Just oh my God. Yeah, this was the episode best scenes of Robot Chicken. And it included the one where Darth Vader calls the Emperor and tells him that the Death Star got blown up.
Yeah.
And he's oh man, that was just a scream.
Did you ever read that article? Not an article, I think it was a meme or just whatever. I read this thing, and it says, can you imagine if the Death Star construction workers were unionized? It's like, man, I got to go into that thing there and then also, you imagine insuring the Death Star?
Yeah.
How would that insurance claim come out?
I don't know, a special rider? Yeah. I could just see Darth Vader and I don't agree with your assessment of your grievances.
Yeah.
What type of union
it's
reps
like
would want to go up against him? Like, Monsieur Vader, on a des griefs à poser certaines questions concernant what? And yeah, and he'd just be like, well, no, sir, sorry, there's this union book. You see, the contract that was negotiated last November specifically states that, and you can just see him going, like getting all frustrated,
The the Vader sigh.
Oh man. Like whenever.
That's a song, the Vader sigh.
Oh man, like
But-
when.
but hang on a second.
Okay.
You know, like it's got to be a blues number, right? It's got to be something sort of like. The Vader sigh.
This isn't the song you're looking for. You don't need to see his sheet music.
Yeah, can you imagine? Can you imagine if those Jedi's were musicians? You know,
Oh man.
I mean, it's like you will play in the key of E.
There was
You shall not use pentatonic scales.
when the very first Star Wars movie came out, Mad Magazine did a satire of it called
Mhm.
Star Roars.
I
And
think I used to be I used
Yeah,
to go every week
for
and
sure,
buy it. Or
for
whenever
sure.
it came out, once a month. I don't know what it was, but we would go to the depth on that day, and like we needed that.
and they did the scene where they're in Mos Eisley Spaceport, and they get stopped by the stormtroopers, and Ben Kenobi says, "These aren't the droids we're looking for. We can go about our business." And they're like, "These aren't the droids we're looking for. You can go about your business and move along." And then Luke says, "Gee, I thought we were dead back there. I thought, how did you fool those?" And he goes, "The Force can have a compelling effect on the weak-minded." And then Luke goes, "The Force can have a compelling effect on the weak-minded." And it's just like they're all just,
I love Mad Magazine.
Oh, man.
I used to like I said, wait for the next issue.
Ah, Spy versus Spy, snappy answers
Oh,
to
yeah.
stupid questions.
My friend was called Melon, it sounded like, anyways, we used to call him Melon.
Okay.
And he used to live near where I was, and we used to walk to the bus stop together. We used to go get the Mad Magazine when it was out. That and the other one that was called Crack, I think it was called.
Cracked. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We used to buy those two magazines. So 12 minutes and 51 seconds, and there's still no listeners. But, you know, somebody might watch this on the replay.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Nah,
And
whatever.
they'll get the Vader song, which is a, one
Brand new on the spot. Yeah, that was
This
totally
is,
improvised,
It
man.
is a limited edition release, only available on YouTube replay. Live, you missed it too late.
Yeah, it's kind of a pastel black cover. Yeah, Mad Magazine, Spy versus Spy, snappy answers to stupid questions.
Yeah.
Okay. Muscle-bound guy on a beach holding a surfboard, and this bimbo woman comes up and goes, "Oh, are you going surfing?" And he goes, "No, I'm an ironing board delivery man." And they'd leave like blank balloons where you could write in your own snappy answers, you know. And this guy's taking garbage out of his house, and it's like an old steel can with no lid, and it's disgusting. It's got like the chicken claws sticking up, and it's just like gross garbage.
It's a theme today.
Yeah, I have a chicken thing.
Yeah.
And this woman goes, "Taking out the garbage?" He goes, "No, my wife is incredibly shy, and this is the only way I can get her out of the house."
Puts a whole new meaning to him dating a cool
Oh
chick.
man. Like they were so funny, and song parodies, and of course the famous folded in. I can't remember what that feature was called. Remember the back page?
Yeah, I used to love that.
You-
But I hated ruining my magazine.
Yeah, because you'd crease it to make it work.
I think
but
I started
was
buying two magazines
brilliant.
at one point because I wanted to keep one.
Keep
but I
one,
don't know if I did
right,
that for
right.
long. But yeah, those fold things were cool, and the covers were like amazing. The covers were artistic
Oh yeah.
genius.
And they used to be so like later on they got more just satire, but like I had ones from the 60s that I got from my brothers,
Oh, yeah.
and they were political. Like they would do every politician. It was nuts. It was nuts. And they do satire about the Vietnam War.
Yeah, well, that was, you know,
That
that was an
was
issue
like,
back then. That
woo,
was serious.
touchy, man. But yeah,
I
really
I
brilliant
like the
artwork.
way behind you, you can see the Zeppelin presence object.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
that's quite the
I think
yeah.
anybody who watches is going to realize I'm a Zeppelin fan because there's the Zeppelin 2 and there's the Zeppelin Starship and there's the object. Of course,
you?
not many people would know the object
Zeppelin
is a
fan?
Zeppelin thing.
I mean, apart from the album covers and the vinyl
Gratuitous
album
t-shirts,
jackets
yeah.
and the hanging paraphernalia of T-shirts and yeah,
I don't know how
I
I'm
wouldn't
going to
have
set up
guessed.
my new apartment because it's a new place. I can stick holes in the wall here, doesn't matter. But my new place, how am I going to do that?
Unfortunately, there's no, like, I had a space at a public, like the place where you skate, change your ice skates when you go
Yeah.
play hockey in
The
an
shack.
outdoor rink. Yeah, the hockey shack, whatever. But this was a really big one. It was run by the city of Dollard.
That's
and
what she said.
Yep. And city of Dollard, thanks. And they'd rent me out this space and I teach my drum classes there on Thursday nights. Now, this place was made of cinder blocks, which usually that's what these things are made of, right? And the acoustics are awful. Like it's so echoey. It's like playing in the subway or something, right? So,
Well, some subway stations sounded amazing.
well, depends if you're
Yeah.
instrumental, but this would get too like just
Muddled
loud
up.
and ringy and you couldn't hear definition of the drums. So I asked them, could I hang up? It had windows all around and it was a pretty big room. I asked them if I could hang some, like the interior material you would make your own quilt out of,
Okay.
like just the insulation,
Stuffy
just the,
stuff,
yeah, inexpensive, lightweight, easy to transport, rolls up, and I would just hang these all around the room. And they said, sure. Well, we'll check. And they gave me permission. I said, well, I need something to hook it on. I can't hook it on the existing curtain rods because there's not enough. And they were like, well, you can't make holes. So what I did is even for this, I had to get permission. It's the city, right? Those little hooks with the 3M hooks with a sticky back.
Oh yeah, I could do that.
Yeah.
I'm
Bless
so
you.
sorry for
Bless you.
listening.
They
Excuse me.
worked pretty well, but I don't know about, like, if you want to, you can't hang something structure on this.
No, but I can hang my T-shirts,
Yeah.
and I could probably hang frames.
Because the other option is, your Gyprock anchors, and
Yeah,
that,
no, I can't.
which, once you remove the screw, you just plaster over it and paint it. You don't even know.
Well, I plan on living there forever. I mean, if I don't have to move, I won't.
Those Gyprock
This year, I
anchors
would
are-
have stayed here until my retirement.
Right.
I want to be buried in Hudson, but now I'm buried in San Lazar. Who knows? But yeah, gross thinking about that. But no, I mean, I like my albums and stuff, but I don't know. Maybe I could put little strings on the albums and get those sticky things and hang them all my albums.
Perhaps.
I could hang everything.
As they're pretty strong. I mean, it's not the sheer of a Gyprock anchor. It's like you can put 60 pounds hanging on these things. They're crazy strong. Big number 10s there, but
number 10s.
Yeah, like that's how I got all my floating shelves up around my place.
Okay.
They work.
Yeah, because that's well, I'm gonna have to talk to my landlady and see what she says because
Yeah, usually they
I don't
don't
want
like
to do
you.
anything that they kind of poo-poo, and I want to be a good tenant, so but
Yeah, my son's place is really strict. Like, do not make holes in the walls.
yeah, but then you can't put a picture.
But then, yeah, what are you supposed to do? I don't
I
know.
have it's a basement, so the wall goes like this and like that and like that, so I could probably just put stuff on that ledge. You know what I mean?
have a copy of Rolling Stone magazine up there
Yeah,
that features Tom Petty.
yeah, it's when he passed away.
My goodness.
I usually buy those. I got my Zeppelin collector's edition. I got the Rolling Stones Mick Jagger collection. The guy across the street has a variety store. He's a friend of mine. And he says, "Hey, I got Zeppelin for you, or Stones, or Pink Floyd." So I bought a few of those. And I collect the
Remarkable.
Harry Style magazines for my daughter. So when she grows up, and she's not grows up, she's 21, but when she's like 40, she'll have all these Harry Style magazines in pristine condition.
What are they?
Harry Styles, he's the guy that was in One Direction that's solo now.
Oh,
Probably the biggest musical artist on the planet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm with it.
Yeah, you're with it. Yeah.
I know what's going on in the modern world.
So 20 minutes, nobody's listening. That's interesting. It's this might be nobody listening. I think when the first person comes in the room, we're gonna make a song. So get your little
My buffalo drum here.
Your buffalo drum, and we'll play we'll welcome them with the song, which might not happen.
Well, this is an experiment. I mean,
well, we might look back on this one day when we have popular live streams to go. You remember that first one where nobody was in the room, nobody showed up? Yeah, that'll be.
Yeah, it's kind of like story of my life.
Well, that's mine too.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to moving. You know what I'm doing next week? I told you. Well, I told you. I'm going to tell you.
Packing.
Because
I think that's what you're doing for 24/7 for the next.
Well, tomorrow, after you leave, like probably around 5:00, my friend Lynn is coming over, and we're gonna just chill out, watch a movie or something. And then tomorrow we're going to pack.
Oh,
she's gonna help me pack. And after that, next Friday, I'm tearing down my whole studio.
So this is it.
So check this out. I'm tearing down my studio. I'm bringing my bed, my studio, an air fryer, a microwave, and my camping fridge freezer, and some clothes and some utensils. And I'm camping in my new place until the 30th.
Okay.
When the truck comes. Every day after work, I'm going to come here and pack.
Oh,
so,
it's the 30th of March.
Yeah. So all that studio area is going to be empty on next weekend.
I was
I'm
under
going to put all my boxes in there, so the movers just have to empty that living room and take out the fridge stove and all that stuff, and my armoire and I don't know how to move this TV.
Jeez.
Put that in your truck, eh?
Yeah.
You know, come Sunday?
I have next Sunday.
Yeah. Next Sunday?
Yeah. Well, you need transport. Yeah.
Well, I have the work truck, but your truck might.
No, the fragile stuff. Yeah.
Like maybe we could put the TV and the guitars in your car.
I bought one of these TVs.
No, I'm gonna leave the TV. I should get the movers to move it with the blankets.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm gonna. When I come here and do my laundry, because I'm gonna have to do my laundry once a week, so I'm gonna sit here for 2 hours waiting for the laundry. I can sit here in the living room and watch TV. So no, the TV will stay here, but yeah.
Because I bought one of these things years ago, and when I took it out of the box, I was like, "This is so fragile for moving."
Oh god. Yeah.
So I actually kept the box with all the foam inserts.
I have the box
because it's a perfect shipping container. This thing's meant to be.
I keep my boxes. Yeah? All my girlfriends say, "Why do you keep the box?" Because I have to transport it when I move. Why? You plan on moving? No, that's not what I meant. Oh god.
Can't
all my girlfriends. I sound like I've been going around the mill a few times, but I mean, I'm 58. I've had a few live-in girlfriends in my life. But yeah, it's I keep boxes. My stereos. I kept a box. It's great for moving.
Absolutely.
I don't know if I kept the box for my my digital mixer. I hope I did. Oh God, when I go into my closet, attic, crawl space, there's going to be stuff in there that I'm going to be throwing out. It's not. I'm going to purge. I'm really going to purge.
Yeah.
So I'm selling all my pedals that I don't
downsize.
Use.
Yeah.
I'm selling my amps I don't use. I'm selling guitars I don't use. I'm selling furniture and knickknacks. I'm going to have a sale in the house after I move out on the 30th. The weekend after, I'm going to have a moving sale. So whatever's left in the apartment is going to be for sale.
Are you selling this stuff online?
I'm going to put some online, but I'm going to have people come here and I'm going to do like a garage sale.
So where would somebody find the, like what platform for finding your pedals and stuff?
Oh, that'll be on Marketplace.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to do
I'm just, no, it's advertise it because if it gets recorded, somebody sees
watching,
it. Yeah.
Obviously, you're going to know that I'm selling pedals on Marketplace.
Exactly. So if we don't get any watchers or listeners, does that mean we can go out and order them to listen? No, it's a voluntary basis. Eh?
No. Once the live stream is over, it
Yeah.
gets stored on the cloud of YouTube,
Okay.
and then it becomes one of my videos that I could replay.
Okay.
So it'll
So
be on my YouTube channel.
so if I took my phone and went on YouTube right now, I'd see myself.
Yes, you would.
That's so weird. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I just want to see. Maybe it'll give us a viewer.
Beg your pardon.
You know, it'll give us
That-
a viewer.
That would be. It'll give us a view. That's so sad. That's like sending yourself a Valentine's present in the mail just to cheer you up, man.
Yeah,
Oh.
well, you know, these things happen.
That's
So, yeah,
funny.
that's cool. Okay, so let's go to YouTube. Let's see what we look like.
That's a scream. You know, I used to watch this. Okay, does this like double steal your soul? Like, you know, the
Yeah,
ancient
the-
tribal
the
beliefs, if you take your
native belief.
picture, you're stealing their soul. Is this, I guess we're heathens and we're soulless.
There we go.
Okay.
I'm
Not move. I'm
oh,
not.
look, there, we're on.
We're
we
on.
have-
Okay, well, it works. Oh, and I see us in the background. Now that's even
Kevin's
weirder.
fire- Oh my God, that's even weirder. Why is it playing on my
That
Fire
is so
Stick?
weird. Okay.
Oh, that is so weird.
Okay, have you got a couple of full-size floor mirrors we could put on either side and bracket ourselves? We have those infinite reflections going off and off.
I don't know, but I think this is really cool that we're back there.
It's kind of strange.
Look. Okay, so.
But it's out of sync. Like I just went.
Yeah, because there's a delay. Definitely
Okay,
a delay.
okay. That's so strange. Call that yeah.
I just paused this.
You know, speaking of sending yourself Valentine's presents,
Yeah.
there was a show, Quebec produced TV show series a while ago, quite a while ago, and it was called Complex G,
Oh yeah.
and it was about a bunch of women who worked in the same office building complex, I guess.
Okay.
But, you know, jeu de mots and all that, and one of the actresses is one of my favorite Quebecois actress, Annie Casabonne.
Let's say that 10 times fast.
Yeah, she's a real interesting story and a very resilient person and excellent artist. And she's done lots of TV spots, and she was a regular on this. But she had troubles getting dates and relationships. So she'd always be talking to herself, right?
Oh yeah.
And
That's probably why she had trouble getting dates.
well, to make up,
Yeah.
whether it was the cause or the response, I don't know. But
Mm.
I remember this one scene. She's sitting at her desk, and she's lonely, so she invented this boyfriend, which was basically her foot with a white sock on it, with a little tiny face painted on it, and she'd stick it under her desk and bring the foot up on the other
Oh,
side of the
jeez.
desk and move the toes like it was talking to
Oh
her.
my God.
Yeah, she was really out there.
Did you see the New Kids in the Hall on Prime TV?
No.
It's the modern version.
Yeah.
It's today.
Did it fly?
I don't know.
Did
I
it work?
watched like 3 episodes and I thought it was great, but I stopped watching because I hate watching TV. I just don't have patience to watch shows anymore.
Yeah.
But the one show I saw that was the first one was fun. It was funny. There was one skit where the guy shows up at his friend's house and just knocks on the door and he goes, something about my make-believe girlfriend broke up with me.
Okay.
So it's a pretend girlfriend.
Oh,
So, and anyways, the conversation gets really weird where
yeah.
he finds out that his best friend is now dating his imaginary girlfriend. And now they're having a discussion about, you can't have my imaginary girlfriend and she loves me more than she loves you. And oh my God, it was so funny. It's worth it just for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like a fun piece of improv.
Yeah, it was really well done. And anyway, at the beginning, he goes, I gotta come here. I'm drunk. He goes, it's 8 o'clock and you're sober. He goes, come back later. So he comes back later.
Oh man, great TV show. I mean, that was, I guess, I don't know, Canada's version of
Saturday Night Live. It was before Saturday Night Live, wasn't it?
no.
It was during, anyways. It was at that period of time.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
SCTV, wasn't that before Saturday Night Live?
I think that was after.
No.
Saturday Night Live started in the 70s, man.
Yeah, and so did Kids in the Hall, and well, Kids in the Hall was probably mid 70s, 80s.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the SCTV was because a lot of the guys from Saturday Night Live came from SCTV. Jim Belushi, Dan Aykroyd. There's a few of them that came from SCTV.
I'm ashamed too
Jim
because
Carrey, too.
I have a coffee table book at home. The first 20 years of Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
And I should know all this stuff because I have read the book. But
for those of you watching the replay of this, there's still 0 people. The only one that came in here was me. So that's the state of the affair.
that's okay. That's okay. Maybe next time we should get the live musicians and the dancing girls and like the fireworks and pyrotechnics.
Why waste all that money? Nobody shows up.
Yeah. Well, you're moving. If something went wrong with the fireworks, it's like, eh.
Yeah, it's true. She's renovating anyway. Do you know she's taking up the roof and she's getting rid of the slants in the ceiling? She's making it a square building upstairs.
That's a shame.
I know it is. And she's getting rid of that staircase. She's putting the staircase right where that wall is.
Yeah. I mean, I understand, and I'm sure there's lots of good reasons, but there's something about it angled.
I love
it is
the,
kind
the
of
feel of this place. I'm
Yeah.
gonna miss this, you know.
You know when they used to film the old TV series Batman?
Mm-hmm.
They'd always do like, and this was a TV trick. When they'd show the villain's lair,
Mm-hmm.
they'd tilt the camera
Yeah.
like 20 degrees
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
And
Star Trek used to do that.
yeah,
And I remember when I bought my first 27-inch TV, which was I think it was 29-inch TV. It was the first big screen TV that was tube.
okay.
It was stereo.
Whoa.
It was on a pivot
That's big.
stand. And it was all modern black and gray and silver trim. It was really nice. And I remember the guy in the store, because I said I wanted the biggest TV. And the only thing bigger than that was the screens. You know those projector screen TVs?
Yeah.
Backlit projector screen
Right.
TVs. So I got the biggest actual physical tubes TV. And it was an Hitachi. I think I spent $1,000 back in the 80s, which was crazy. It was my first Canadair job purchase that I spent money on. So we're looking at it. He goes, "You got to watch Star Trek on this. It's really cool." And it was true because Star Trek had those pastelish colors.
Oh yeah, apparently it was really hot.
Yeah.
On the set to work, like when they're sweating
Yeah.
because they're nervous about something, it's not makeup.
No,
It
exactly.
was like 95 degrees under those
And
lights.
those angles on that big screen.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the biggest TV ever seen.
Yeah.
You know, and now we got these things. It's
Yeah.
like, this is small compared to what most people have. They have 70-inch screens now. This is only 60. The 29-inch was huge.
Considering the AV technology, how it's changed from when I was a kid.
Audio video for you folks.
When I was young. I was like 10, 11 years old, whatever.
Just a pup.
My dad brought me one weekend to, pardon me for a minute. Beg your pardon.
That's not a problem. Nobody's
My dad brought me to La Ronde
Yeah.
amusement park, right?
Yeah. Great stuff.
But he had a back operation years ago, and he couldn't take any side loading or roller coaster or rides. So basically, he just stood at the gate, and I went on the rides, which was kind of a drag. But we got to do one thing together. They had this big inflated dome,
Yeah.
right? And half of it, you go inside, and 180 degrees, one half of it from floor to ceiling and over your head was a movie screen.
Cool.
And they'd show one of those accelerated, you're on a roller coaster or you're in traffic and driving up and down the streets of San Francisco and, you know, whatever. It was all adventure, fast moving, and it lasted like 5 minutes or something like that. And that's the one thing my dad could go on because physically it did nothing. But
yeah,
you would be surprised how many people were falling over and losing their balance.
really.
Because you're just standing up and all of a sudden you're like, whoa, because you're getting this visual input
Oh, we have somebody watching.
with sound. And identify yourself. And
Somebody watching, because you're the first person living our live stream, you get a song. Welcome.
hey,
Well, that was fun. That was about the most fun we've had so far.
yeah,
Well,
Well,
whoever's watching, tell us your name.
yeah,
Type something in
Or-
the chat.
or just any kind of publicity. Honestly, you want to report us to
To
the
the authorities?
what do they call CRTC?
CRTC. Yeah. I don't think
yeah.
the CRTC would approve of this so far.
Well, we haven't said anything bad.
Nothing good.
Or I haven't said I mean I haven't used my vocabulary of words that I've been informed by some of the young new employees
Yeah.
at our work, at your former work, my present work.
Mm.
I can't use those words anymore. Like I was talking with one guy, I said, "What's it like in school now?"
Mhm.
You know, and because I know my daughter graduated high school last year, and I know what she would say about the teachers and the classroom environment. So I was asking this young fellow, what's it like? And I used a word, and he goes, "You can't say that anymore." And I'm like, "What? Like seriously?"
Oh no, it's. I mean, I understand to a point because some words are derogatory and they're insulting and they're racist. But it's Lynn.
Hi,
Our
Lynn.
friend Lynn, who's coming over this afternoon. Well, hi Lynn. Thanks for
Hi.
watching. You're our first and only person watching our live broadcast,
No,
which is
first.
going down in history.
First.
Eh?
Never say never. She's
Well,
the first.
and only so far.
First
I mean,
and only so far. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
She
And
gets our sense of humor, so you can say stupid stuff.
okay, stupid stuff. Like for instance, my daughter told me she's a nail technician, right? So she has chit chat time with clients and stuff like
What's
that.
that called? Esthetician?
No, a nail technician.
She's
She's
called a nail technician? Okay.
yeah, nail tech.
I like nail tech. That sounds cool.
Specifically in ladies' fingernails, and she does fantasy work, like just
Oh, yeah.
incredible.
Does she do those like paintings on the nails, like scenarios?
All by hand.
Wow.
Like
that's
she'll
talent.
she'll do cartoon images. She does vacation nails. One of her clients went to Vegas, so she gave her like dice. and double cherries, like slot machine
Yeah.
and poker cards and all that
All
stuff.
fingers had something different.
All something different.
Wow.
Yeah, theme
That's
nails.
pretty cool.
Anyway, she said one of her clients the other day, my daughter said she was getting a supply, and it was from a particular company, and this client of hers said, "Well, I guess it doesn't bother you that they use child labor to make that stuff," or something like that.
Ooh.
And I was just like, all right, point taken. Yes, this goes on.
Yeah, that's wrong.
But I mean, Apple, Nike, and a host of others have all.
As she's typing on her Apple phone a message to her husband.
Yeah, I mean, have you ever bought anything from
That's
Cambodia?
the problem today. People don't realize how much they use
Yeah.
child labor stuff.
And if you're not an authority from the United Nations or something seeking this out to quell it, where do you get off telling from one citizen, ordinary citizen, to another, you're not allowed to say that anymore?
Yeah.
You're owning something. And it's like, really? When the other person, I mean, if you consume, like you said, an Apple phone or Nike shoes or whatever,
Even
they-
socks. I mean, most
they don't
socks
have
are
stellar
made
records.
in, like child labor
Yeah.
factories. It's crazy.
I mean, like the
Clothing,
Colin
right.
Jost Michael Che joke, the jokes they run back and forth on Saturday Night Live,
Yeah.
and they said China will send up its own international space station.
Yeah.
Now getting it up there is easy. The hard part is getting the children up there to assemble it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, just inappropriate jokes. Yeah, you've never seen that?
No, I never.
They're
I don't.
extreme.
I haven't watched Saturday Night Live since it was.
It's
good.
just YouTube videos. Like, he writes the jokes for the other guy to see, and vice versa.
Oh yeah.
But they have no idea what they're going to be saying. It's all live.
That's cool. Okay.
And man, they are funny.
Yeah.
They are funny.
I should give it a check.
They're really funny.
How are you liking it so far, Lynn? Are we looking silly here? I mean, we need some live comment, some feedback, so we can understand if we should continue.
Comments.
Comments.
Yeah.
Comments, yeah.
Comments.
I see you're still it's looking good. Oh, well, there you go.
All right.
So we're not funny or interesting. We just look good. Okay, I get that.
A lot of actors would fall into that. You know.
Looking good and not having any substance.
Is it necessary? You know.
Okay.
Who was it?
all
Gary
of the
Larson?
above. Well, thank you very much.
Gary Larson he wrote The Far Side.
I think so.
And he had
rings
this
a bell.
this guy was lying in bed one night going, does she know I exist? Does she know I exist? Does she know I exist? And then it snaps to the object of his affection lying in her bed going, I think I really like vanilla. Like, just forget it, man.
Oh,
Anyway, she was drawing cute,
Lynn, how's the sound? Does it sound okay? Can you hear us properly? I can't believe I'm having a conversation with my friend over YouTube Live.
Hey,
This is weird.
Can you turn down the volume on the fire? It's kind of hot
It's getting hot.
back there. Yeah. I'm like,
My hairs on the back of my
smoking.
head are starting to sing.
Oh man, I saw an high-end
Avant-garde.
salon hair guy, fashion guy. I think it was in Europe,
Yeah.
and he was volunteering his time to help homeless people get cleaned up.
Mm-hmm.
Right, a little bit of self-esteem, give them a shave, a trim, and all that stuff. And speaking of singeing hair, to do the ears,
Mm-hmm.
he used a Bic lighter.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, but it was just like flick, 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 like just really fast. It wasn't
Yeah.
like he was holding the barbecue lighter out there and like giving it the Reservoir Dogs treatment. It was just
The Reservoir Dog treatment. That was the worst scene in a movie I've ever seen. I cringed. I could, knowing that the guy knew he was going to die a slow, horrible death was a horrible scene. To
Oh man, that
it was heavy.
uncomfortable.
Oh, was it ever
Uncomfortable. That
uncomfortable?
whole first movie was just like, I mean, now we get all desensitized and stuff like that. And,
Yeah, but that was done.
but
with
this was
artistic
very, very,
value.
very debut of
Yeah.
this new genre of film. And I remember, so that came out, then Pulp Fiction came out, and I had a friend at the time, and
That was a great movie. I watched that like 10 times.
Scream.
I bought 2 DVDs.
I liked its
regular and the
goofiness.
super
It was just as
deluxe.
violent as Reservoir Dogs, but it was more, anyway, goofy. But I had this friend, and she said, let's go see the movie. I want to see the movie. It was coming out in theaters. So, yeah,
Mhm.
okay. So, I mean, pre-Netflix, get it? Like, the world was different.
Different. Yeah.
And she goes, yeah, my sister wants to go too. And I just looked at her, and I was like, okay, now, I mean, you're a very nice, moral, upstanding, church-going person.
Well, thank you.
No, not you, her.
Oh, sorry.
Her. And
Say you don't
and
do
her
that wrong.
sister was even more so. Her
Mhm.
sister was extremely conservative, Orthodox, Armenian Orthodox. And I was like, your sister wants to go see this movie? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, has she
It makes
seen
it
any
awkward.
work
Yeah.
by this director? Like, this is going to be extremely unsettling. Like,
Yeah.
but she went and she really enjoyed it. So I'm like, okay, go figure.
Watching a movie with somebody that might be, offended or not. It's like watching a porno with your mom. It's very uncomfortable.
Oh, no, I
It's
can't
really
say I've
uncomfortable.
done that, Kev. Well.
It's like you ever listen to music with somebody they don't like what you like, and it's like the song doesn't sound as good because you're criticizing it through their mind.
I've had people give me, oh, you got to listen to this. It's great. And I'm
Yeah.
going,
Yeah.
But I've been on the dealing end of that
Well,
stick
yeah,
too,
that's what I'm
because
talking about.
my musical taste is like,
When I listen to something that I love and I say, oh, you got to hear this, and I watch their face, and then I start hearing how bad it might actually be. because I'm hearing it in a different way, you know?
Yeah. No, I mean, I totally understand it. Like if I try and get somebody to listen to Concerto for Orchestra by Bela Bartok, they're looking at me like, why are you torturing my brain? I'm going, this is fantastic. But I think I get it. After all these years, I'm going like, I'm the guy who loves the Rubik's Cube version of certain compositions of music, but it's an extremely specific, like that's me. It's not, it's like my passwords, which we've talked about before. Yeah.
Complex passwords.
And
Can't even pronounce the words you use as passwords, let alone spell them.
well, there's lots of
phonetically, those words don't make sense.
There's a lot of I even hear ads on the radio today. Are you afraid to take a job or a promotion because you have trouble reading? You know, well, you know, I'm very sorry.
You're saying I can't read?
I'm sorry.
When a word has more than 5 consonants and only 2 vowels, I think
That's another language.
That's another language.
Yeah. No,
I also think it's pretentious.
You know what language has the longest word in it?
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
No. Although I do have a joke about that, and I don't think it's supercalifragilicus. I'm just saying.
Sorry, did I say that?
Yeah, you said that.
That's from that other movie I was watching with my mom.
Damn. Thanks for, I need the jaws of life to get that one out of my mind.
That's funny. I hate when people say things you can't forget. I hate that.
Yeah, no, it's a Hawaiian dialect.
Really?
It's one word contains like 48 letters or something. It's retarded.
What's the use of that?
That's
just showing off.
Can be used as code, and the enemy can't break it.
That's like putting PH in front of medical terms. That's just show off stuff.
Yeah.
Well, you know it's because they have a PhD, right? You understand? That's the basis of it.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things I don't know.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that Monty Python skit with the man who has the longest name in the world?
I think so.
Oh my God!
Now you're making me think of Biggest Dickies.
Biggest Dickies. Yeah.
Great.
No. This was. I am sitting here today with the great grandson of, and they go on with this name that takes 20 seconds to pronounce, and he goes, and without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we will meet Mr. And again, 20 seconds to introduce the guy, and he asks him the first question, and it's an old man going. And he says, so you are the great grandson of, and he says the name again. And then the guy has to answer, yes, I am the great grandson of, and he has to answer. And I think he gets him to do it like 2 or 3 times. And the guy keels over because so much time is going by and he's aged out. It was funny.
Lynn just said, our one and only faithful listener, thank you, Lynn. You're making us feel better. We have a doctor at work. His name has 24. His last name has 24 letters.
May I ask what nationality he is?
What nationality, and can you spell that?
I think she heard. Anyway.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like she can't hear you and she can hear me, right?
Yeah. No, it's your job to talk to the computer, like Sigourney Weaver in Galaxy Quest. You know, they can go, computer, what's this? And
you just made my Alexa talk.
Oh, so she goes, computer, what's this? And she's the only one who can talk to it. Like it's a guy. Anyway,
C word.
So supercalifragilistic. Okay, so the joke goes, you have Mahatma Gandhi, and he was a very spiritual, religious man. Who was a vegetarian, or he had a very strange diet, and or a very different diet, and he walked everywhere. So
sounds like my childhood.
So this writer basically described him as, and the strange diet gave him a bizarre breath. Okay, so this writer described him as, he's a supercalist, fragile mystic with hexing halitosis.
Halitosis is bad breath.
Yeah. I never read that in a paper. That's made up. Anyway.
She says it's something like, I can't even pronounce that, but they call him Vank. So that's pretty simple.
Vank?
Yeah, I don't know where I don't
Like
see bank in there.
you've got to
anywhere.
go. You've got to go to the bank and get some money. Oh, the doctor's name. Oh,
Stop
okay.
banking around.
Oh, you all a bunch of bankers.
Yeah,
Like a
you're a
German.
banker, you.
Yeah.
Instead of saying wanker. You're a banker, you.
Banker.
Sorry, we're disrespecting your doctor's name. We apologize. Not really, but anyways. You know, if anybody else was watching, they probably might find this entertaining. Unless Lynn comments otherwise, saying, no, it's not.
Well, you know, look, I always look at these episodes as an investment in the future, because one day I'll lose my marbles.
And you'll be able to remember the stupid stuff.
I'll be
you
able to
said.
go back and go, that's what I sounded like. Well,
Yeah, I always hated
Okay.
hearing my voice. When I heard
And
it back.
when you lose your marbles, you know, you get on that 10-second loop.
Yeah.
So one episode, I could be good for months.
Wow.
Think of it, because you
Well,
watch
look
the
what I
same
have to
thing
look
over and
forward
over.
to.
Yeah.
Did you know that Alzheimer's is a form of diabetes?
I did not.
It's something to do with the sugar. Yeah, I heard that just recently. That
Hmm.
it's that they've discovered that. I don't know if it's accepted yet, but it's some kind of research was saying it's a type of diabetes now that they're realizing it is.
My goodness.
Interesting.
They're
Maybe
making
Lynn would know. She works in the hospital.
they're making so many discoveries on the way over here today.
You found something?
Well, one of my favorite radio shows
Yeah.
on Saturday or anytime is Bob McDonald's Quirks and Quarks. Science show gets all.
Vascular dementia, she said.
Okay. And which is different than vacular.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Yeah. Vacuous, vacular. Moniker. Right. Anyway, think of vacuums, Monica.
Oh, I
Anyway,
get it.
right.
Got that one.
Yeah, so Quirks and Quarks. So on the way over, they were talking to this research geneticist who works in Berlin, but his name was Japanese. Can't remember his name. And they made a discovery in a chromosome in our DNA that for the first time has explained why we lost our tails.
Really?
Yeah. And he said basically
It's disturbing that we had tails in the first.
well, he says this was a question that has just not been addressed and not even asked that much. It's kind of like, what? And they attributed it to, okay, when we lived in trees, a tail could be useful, hanging, balance and all that stuff. But when you come down out of the trees, you don't need it in that way. And actually, it could be a detriment. You're being chased by a predator. That's the closest thing to the predator's claws. It could really,
Plus,
you
your
know,
caveman buddy always pulls on it when you're not looking.
exactly the teasing, nice tail, org. And
Where are you
but
going? Get a cat.
just fascinating. Like, and they said, okay, so we can manipulate this chromosome. They manipulated it in mice, and they got a bunch of mice born without tails, like right off the bat.
Oh, so you know what that means? They can manipulate it so we can have tails again.
That came into the discussion, and the research scientists said we haven't had a lot of adventurous people yet.
Oh, with today's society, the way people like to modify themselves with their face
out. Oh my God.
Yeah.
But
that's okay. The first guy I see with a tail, that's gonna freak me out.
They did not.
How do you wear pants like that?
Avatar? I don't know.
What's Avatar got to do with it?
Well, they had tails.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
Yeah.
that. Sorry, that was over my head.
They didn't address. Well, they said the cause of spinal bifida is a defect in this chromosome. Now, they didn't say if they could modify it to cure it, or I don't even know if that is a thing, but just the level of research. I mean, this is a fantastic show. If you want a really good...
What, this one or that show?
This show is fantastic, but if you want a fantastic science show, Bob McDonald's the man. I mean, today's was
You know,
Yeah.
Bob's your uncle, right?
Bob's your uncle.
Yeah. Okay. Lynn's gonna like that one.
Talking about boreal forests, talking about
So how boring is that forest? Sorry, I'm interrupting, but I think it's funny.
boreal forest. Nothing ever goes on. It's the same.
Well, how much beer can you drink in a boreal forest?
Depends where the microbrasserie is, I guess.
And anyone who's watching from outside Montreal area, Boreal is a beer company, also the name of a forest, but you know.
Yeah. And yeah, something they said interesting about boreal forest, they said tropical rainforests are usually considered or have been traditionally considered the lungs of the planet. But they said actually it's the boreal forest, and the biggest one like crowns the top of the earth. It goes, they said Canada has the biggest. I'm going, well, what about Russia too?
I would imagine
It kind of like goes around the whole circle of that slice of the earth, you know?
Did you know Maryland is subtropical?
Maryland?
Maryland, Maine,
The state.
The state, yeah, subtropical. That's where the subtropics start.
So that means don't eat it.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm thinking topical.
No, the weather
Subtop.
is subtropical.
Tropical.
They don't get massive winters and stuff.
Really? But they're right on the ocean.
Maryland. Maryland is right outside of is where Washington D.C. is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm bad with that little knot of states. My geography is usually pretty good.
Me too.
But I can't say
just
like
the amount of states that the New England area has got some pretty small little areas. But yeah.
Like Rhode Island and all that, and they were the original. Well, they were the original 13 colonies.
13 colonies, yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Which are represented by the red and white stripes on the American flag.
That's right.
There you go. You know, shameful.
The Republic of New Hampshire. No, the whole area they're all republics. Well, actually, the states is still a republic. It's just not respected that way. Because the United States is actually a company, conglomeration, sort of like a company of states. But they're all supposed to be republics.
Well, Canada was founded by the charter that empowered the Hudson's Bay Company. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, enterprise, empire, and enterprise.
Yeah, that's all it is.
That's.
We're all employees. We're not citizens. We're employees.
I watched the opening speech from the 1970 movie Patton the other night.
Oh yeah.
And
blows my mind how you remember all this stuff.
When it opened up, I'm going, okay, so it was pretty accurate except for the guy's voice, because the real Patton had apparently a squeaky little voice.
Oh, yeah.
And they could not do whatever. They didn't want to do that. But the big American flag behind him when he's giving his speech has 48 states.
Yeah.
Because it hadn't happened yet.
It hadn't happened.
Right. Yeah. And I was just like, historical accuracies like that. I think that would be one of the coolest jobs, because doesn't it drive you nuts when you see a movie and you go,
we have another new
that's nasty. That's not accurate. I would love to be the guy that finds all those details and goes, no, this is like, what was there's a Stanley Kubrick movie, Barry Lyndon.
They left. Sorry.
Ciao, Bella.
Look what you did. You got rid of our.
I chased them off. Yeah, I talked. Okay, you talk. Bear. I think it's.
You probably made a mistake, clicked the wrong icon.
I went back to watching a movie with his mom.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, you're not going to live that one down for a while. That was.
Come on.
Yeah.
Well, it's been an hour. We haven't had we had one organic viewer, and he left right away.
People got things to do. It's the middle of the afternoon. People are out actually living their lives.
Really? What's that?
Whereas
another viewer.
We're here. So
the viewer, identify yourself.
So yeah.
We'll see.
All hailing frequencies open. Yeah, this movie, Barry Lyndon, Stanley Kubrick movie, the entire thing was filmed with natural lighting. So when it was in nighttime or indoor nighttime,
it was dark.
Candles.
Yeah.
You know, like seriously, for the authenticity, and all of the uniforms of the soldiers and everybody, the costumes were actual museum pieces.
Wow.
I mean, now that's insane.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I mean, a lot of battle uniforms. didn't look so good after the battle.
No,
You know,
there's a bit of scuff on the collar, you know?
hazardous detail.
Yeah.
I mean, what was that Mel Gibson movie, The Patriot, which is kind of like whatever. Well, you know, it's entertaining.
Movie
It's-
critiques by James.
Don't go for accuracy when you're
Well,
talking.
anything Hollywood is barely ever accurate. Barely ever.
Anyway, there was a scene where it's the American Revolutionary War, and they're rowing across in a boat trying to infiltrate and get some explosives on board a British ship that's docked in harbor or anchored. And they're in the boat, and he's rowing, and this French officer who's helping the Americans, and they're wearing like British uniforms, right?
Mhm.
And the Frenchman goes, "You know, this uniform, it stinks." And Mel Gibson says, "Oh, there was a dead guy in that uniform." Like, duh.
Well, we have a new viewer, so we should play some music.
Okay.
for them. Serenade the new person and hopefully not scare them away. A little ditty.
There you go.
It might just be Lynn again. So
Next time we have ceremonial gong.
Oh, gong. Yeah, you didn't. Did you? You
I didn't bring the gong.
Oh.
I didn't bring the gong. I try and bring something new
Next time
every
we do a
time.
live, if anyone does listen, we'll hit the gong every time somebody comes in.
Oh, that'd be cool. Or
People
even
like
just,
it, they'll come in and out all the time just to hear the gong.
just to hear the gong.
Yeah.
Or I have a little
chime.
bell. I have a whole bunch of bells. I try and bring something different each time.
Yes.
So it'll take a while to cycle through.
It's show and tell with James.
Yeah, basically.
Musical show and tell.
Instruments.
Musical devices. Show and tell with James.
I heard an interview that kind of intrigued me this morning on the radio, and it was a rerun. But it was a guy talking about quiet fashion, which
Quiet
is
fashion.
quiet fashion, which is a thing now.
Okay, is that the opposite of loud fashion? That would be like a bright yellow sweater.
How
So
he
it's all
described
gray,
it, and I
right?
was like,
I think it's all
really,
gray.
we have way too much time on our hands to get into this. But this guy is a quiet fashion consultant. I'm going, this is a job? Okay.
That's right there. That's intriguing. That there's actually a job called quiet fashion consultant. But
That's how I describe it.
Well, I used to be a
Yeah.
quiet fashion consultant. No, I don't see that.
It's, But basically, he said, wealthy people who can afford fashion items. Things have changed in the world since COVID, right? And inflation's nuts, and life is very expensive, and a lot of people are struggling. So he goes, an awful lot of wealthy persons are dumbing down their ability. They're not wearing the loud, carrying CK bags or brand name clothes
Why is that?
or whatever. They still buy the quality, but a lot of these high-end manufacturers are making their products now same quality but without the logos, so you're not rubbing it in somebody's face.
I kind of think that's cool because it's still Lynn, so we don't have a new. Well, you got an extra song out of it, Lynn.
She's still gonna come over and watch a movie with you
I
after
don't
you
know.
say
She's gonna help me
it's
pack
still
too, so
Lynn.
She might not even come now.
I
I
wouldn't-
wouldn't. It's probably gonna scare her away. But I like the idea of toning down fashion like that because
Yeah.
I find all this like.
That's pretentious.
Why would you spend $125 for a T-shirt that says "Just Do It" when all you're doing is advertising somebody else? You're paying them to advertise for them. I think that's ridiculous.
Well, it's their idea of convincing you that you're cool if you do their bidding, I guess. Anyway, but
I'm just cool the way it is,
there you go,
and I got my own T-shirt advertising my own self. So there you go.
which is beautiful.
Thank you. I like it very much.
I can't wait to see that mic produce itself when our gaffer gets here and drops it in. So
Gaffer.
one of the points this guy made, which I went, okay, that angle of it, I get. He said, when you buy something, buy the quality you can afford.
Yeah.
Okay. And I went, yeah, okay, whatever, because I'm not a fashion whatever.
It's hard to tell.
It's not my thing. But when it comes to
Actually, you
buying
look pretty
quality,
snazzy, though.
thank you. When it comes to buying quality, I do go down that road when it comes to instruments, and they don't have to be very expensive,
No.
but I insist that they're well made.
Yeah.
Like my Tam Tams, they're really rugged, and I've had them since 2006, so it's like 18 years.
Yeah.
So, and they don't look worse for the wear, and I've been transporting them all over the place, even on aircraft packed in luggage without cases, without hard cases.
Really?
And
They're tough.
yeah, they're not bad. And they're made by Remo World Percussion, as is this lovely buffalo drum, which is Remo at the top. It needs a little bit of a tune-up, but the skin, I don't know how it would act. Like I used to have bongos that had no tuning lugs. So what you do is you hold it up against a bright light or over a stove, and the tuning would go right down. But then when it cools, it comes way back up again because the skin
and the
contracts. Yeah.
contractions. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I get that.
Anyway,
Well, we've been here for an hour, and thanks to Lynn, we've had somebody listening and watching or viewing, as we may say. And I think we're going to wrap it up.
that sounds
you think?
cool. That
'Cause we
sounds
got more
great.
stuff to do that you'll see later.
Righto.
So thanks for watching, Lynn.
Thank you, Lynn.
Thanks for being a trooper.
Kev.
Thanks for being
Awesome,
here and
man.
saying stupid stuff with me.
You can count on me for stupid.
All right, well, we're signing out. And everybody watches this afterwards. This is what you missed. Later.
Cheers.
The camera's over there.
Oh yeah, right. Okay. Hey, say your thing. Say your thing that you always say.
Oh, well, yeah. You know what? Like, be kind to people, and it feels good, and it makes them feel good. So make somebody smile today.
It's the classy thing to do.
Join us on the next live feed if, you have time and care. Bye.
Oh my God.